Hey guys, welcome back to Downgrid Survival. Today we're going to take a look at the new EcoFlow Delta 2 and also the brand new Jackery Explorer 1000 Pro. Now before we get started, there's a couple of disclaimers I want to share with you. First, I already previously did a video on these two products and I put a link right up here. But that was just an online spec review. I did not have these units in hand at the time. And as promised, now that I have them in, we're going to do another review. Now, I will tell you that EcoFlow did send me the Delta 2 for free, whereas the Jackery was purchased. So please be aware of that. Now, there's another important fact. I really hate to bring this up, but it's important that I do. And that is, after releasing that first video, about a week later, Jackery reached out to me. And they said they had some concerns about some of the things that I said in their video. What it comes down to is they didn't care for the fact that I chose the EcoFlow over the Jackery in that video, saying that EcoFlow was a better product. I still stand by that opinion today, but we'll get into more of that in just a moment. Now, in our negotiating back and forth, they offered me an opportunity to work with them to promote their products. And they were willing to send me 4 200-watt solar panels that match this, or that would go with the Jackery, in exchange if I did a solid review of this unit, not comparing it to any other. I have no problem talking about products and doing reviews, honest reviews, where I tell you what I like and don't like about products. Not all my product reviews are comparing one against another. I don't have a lot of negative to say about this product. I think the Jackery 1000 Pro is a good product. However, communications broke down when they told me that I couldn't say anything negative about their products or about their brand. I was very disappointed. Jackery is a huge name out there in the solar battery industry, and to come to find out that they told me I couldn't say anything negative about their product was really disheartening. Further, after I agreed to make a video for them, prior to them telling me what the restrictions were, they told me that they went ahead and shipped those solar panels, and oh, by the way, they sent me a contract as well. And at that point, things really kind of turned south because I disagreed with the terms of their contract. One of the stipulations was, after creating a video, I had to send them the video so they could review it and approve it before I published it. And that's just not how we operate on this channel. On this channel, I say what I want. I tell you the good, the bad. I give you my opinion so that you can make an informed decision. And ultimately, the decision is up to you, what fits best for you, whether you like a particular product or you don't. That's how we roll on this channel. If you like that, give me a thumbs up now. Help me spread this video and help me spread my channel to more viewers. So having said all that, things broke down. We didn't come to an agreement. I promptly responded to them and told them, no thank you, I disagree with your terms, I'm not going to sign your contract, please recall the shipment, I'm not interested in doing videos under these terms, absolutely not. And so after that email, crickets. Haven't heard anything from them since. Solar panels hasn't shown up yet at my home, so I'm hoping that they recalled them. I don't want their free product. Certainly under those situations. Having said that about the company and how this situation unfolded, I still think this is a pretty good product. Not as good as the EcoFlow, but it's still a good product, and a lot of you will go out and purchase it, and rightfully so. Let's get into just some of the specs again so we can talk about these. So first of all, the EcoFlow Delta 2 over here has a 1024-watt battery inside here, whereas the Jackery has a 1002. So just a slightly smaller battery, not much to make a big difference when we're talking about this comparison here. Next, the peak wattage. Okay, this is where you plug something in, such as a fan or some type of motor that needs to spin up, and it takes a lot of electricity to get started, and then it kind of levels off. So the peak wattage, this thing will peak out. The Delta 2 will peak out at 2700. That's the surge. And the Jackery over here at 2000. So again, slightly less, but 2000 peak is more than enough to cover most appliances, most things that you would ever want to plug into there. Next, let's talk about the outlets right here real quick. So on the EcoFlow, we do have 6 AC wall outlets, whereas over here on the Jackery, you have 3 AC wall outlets. So again, EcoFlow wins because they have more outlets. On the Delta over here, you can get up to 1800 watts out of a single outlet, whereas over here on the Jackery, you're limited to 1000 watts coming out of the outlet there. The Delta over here does have, where is it at? The Delta over here does have 6 USB ports. Okay, they have 4, let's see, 4 USB-A, 2 of them are the fast charging, and then they have the 2 USB-C ports right there. And over here on the Jackery, you have a total of 4. You have 2 USB-A and 2 USB-C with the fast charging. Now let's take a moment and talk about charging these. So when you get ready to charge the Delta 2 over here and you plug it into the wall outlet in order to recharge this, you're going to get up to 1800 watts input to charge this. Over here on the Jackery, you do have 800 watts input. So when you plug it into the wall, it's going to charge at a maximum of 800 watts, which is a little bit less, again, than the EcoFlow. Now, here's where the Jackery wins. When it comes to solar input, okay, the Delta 2 over here is limited to 500 watts of solar input. But over here on the Jackery, again, you can have 800 watts of solar input. Now you can combine those two. For instance, you can combine the 800 watts of outlet and 800 watts of solar input for a whopping 1600 watts of input at one time for a super fast charge on the Jackery. And so that is a plus over there. And then of course over here you can do the same. You can get the 500 watts as well as the 1200 watts of input at the same time on the EcoFlow. So now we're talking about charging and we're specifically talking about the battery. Let's get into the battery chemistry. Again, this is where EcoFlow wins. EcoFlow has the lithium iron phosphate battery, the LiFePO 4, which gives you 3,500 cycles to 80%. And what that means, you can charge it up and discharge it 3,500 times and you'll still have 80% battery life left. And that's an impressive battery. It's probably one of the best batteries on the market. Jackery, however, decided to go with lithium ion battery, and it's limited to about 1,000 charges before it drops to the 80% battery life left. So, you know, that's a huge difference if you're going to be using your battery system every day. If you use it every day, you know, this is going to last you, 8 to 10 years over here on the Delta 2, whereas over here on the Jackery, it's probably going to last you, 3, maybe 4 years. That's a pretty big difference for the investment that we're talking about here. However, if you're a weekend camper, okay, maybe you just go out in your RV, maybe you go tent camping, maybe you just want it for emergencies, there's nothing wrong with a lithium-ion battery that only has 1,000, charge cycles to it. If it's something you're just not going to use very often anyway. But my opinion, why settle for 1,000 charges when you can have 3,500 charges for about the same price? Yeah, so that's a huge difference. Another difference that sets these two companies apart is EcoFlow has a nice app that is Android and for your Android phone or iPhone, and it allows you to control some additional features on here, like how it charges, when it charges, whether you charge the battery to 100%, or you can change it to 90%, or you can set it so the battery doesn't fall below 5% if you don't want to completely drain your battery. Just a lot of different options there with the app that allows you to control additional features. Jackery does not offer an app at this time. Another big difference between these two systems, the Delta 2 is expandable. So you can get an additional expansion battery that connects to the main unit here, and that gives you an additional 1,000 watts, which is huge. So if you have an additional need for some additional battery power, you can pick up another battery pack and attach it, which is great. However, be aware that this additional battery cannot be used independently. It has to be connected to the main unit. A couple other things to consider. The Jackery here weighs 25 pounds, whereas the main unit on the Delta 2 over here weighs 27, so just a little bit difference there. But again, we're talking about different battery chemistry. One of the things I do like about the Jackery is that it's square, so it's a little easier maybe to store and put into a tight space. It's got the fold-down handle, which is new for their product line. They incorporated this fold-down handle, so it's flat on the surface. And over here, the Delta 2, their grab handles, do protrude a little bit on both sides, or excuse me, on both ends. So that may be a difference to you. Another thing the Jackery has that the EcoFlow does not, which is kind of handy, I suppose. Some people may like this. Some people think it's gimmicky. But right here, you do have a light built into the unit. And again, they largely design these for people who are going camping. That's what their marketing is. It's all about outdoors type of activities. And for something like that, having an additional light right there could be useful. You're certainly not going to pick this thing up and carry it around and try to shine the light, but if you're inside a tent and you need some extra light, you can just hit that button and have instant light, which is a nice feature. Another thing to share with you that Jackery wins out on, it's a small thing, but I want to give Jackery all the credit I can because this, like I said, this is a good unit. It's just that, in my opinion, the Delta 2 is better, and that is the accessories, okay? Jackery over here gives you this nice little nylon pouch that allows you to store your accessories like your power cord or your 12-volt battery charger or your 12-volt cord for your car outlet. And it's nice that they included this little pouch to keep everything together. Always been kind of disappointed with EcoFlow that they give you these nice black embossed cardboard boxes. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty when you unbox it, but not real practical. These things get crushed real easily. I've got a couple of these. They've been crushed. I can't use them anymore. And furthermore, once you start pulling out accessories such as the power cord, it's almost impossible to try to get the power cord back in here when you've got other stuff in here, and it's just not very useful. So as it turns out, once I unbox these, I end up not using these boxes at all, and I just keep all these kind of loosely laying around, which means they could easily be lost. So, that's a small improvement that could be made by EcoFlow. But you know what? Nonetheless, having said everything that I've said, having looked at the specs, neither one of these units are bad units, but the Delta 2 certainly wins out for my needs. You have to decide which one wins for your needs and what you're interested in. But I am extremely disappointed in how the conversation went with Jackery and how they wanted to control the narrative and control what I say here on this channel to ensure that they only get positive reviews, which really makes me question all the other YouTubers out there that have done product reviews for Jackery and just what kind of agreements they have made and what kind of restrictions that they have had placed upon them in order to say what they have said. So just be aware of that. But again, I don't think it's a bad product. So far, it seems to be working great. Hey, as a little bonus feature, I'll share this with you. I recently had to evacuate because of Hurricane Ian. And we evacuated our home because it looked like it was coming directly towards us. When I evacuated, my first choice to take a battery power system with me in my vehicle to wherever I evacuated to was the Delta 2. However, I did use the Jackery. And what I did is I had previously found these little light bulbs. They're just 4-watt light bulbs with a USB plug. And what I did with my Jackery is I left it sitting on a table near a window, and I left it plugged into the wall, and so it remained charged as long as we had electricity. As soon as the electricity went out, then the battery took over, but I left this light bulb turned on the entire time we were gone. And the reason I did that is when the electricity went out, I didn't want the house to be completely dark. I wanted it to look like someone was home in order to deter looters and anybody from lurking around, maybe looking for a free score, try to find some free product, right? So I left this on as a security measure, and I used that for the Jackery, and it seemed to have worked well. We didn't have any looting problem. But then again, neither did my neighbors. Okay, hey, this is a long video, but that's it for this one. There's going to be affiliate links down below, so you can go check out both the Jackery Explorer 1000 Pro and the brand new Delta 2. There is a slight $100 price difference in the two. I'll let you go figure out, see which one's the better buy. Hey, if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.